Yeah, I kind of missed the beginning of that, didn't I? Yeah, sorry about that. So this is going to be a really brief session. You know, like in the two previous videos, I've said how brief they're going to be. It's going to be so brief. This is going to be brevity personified. I just want to do a quick session here, part one of academic practice for media students, which is really important for us to cover, right? This will be something you'll be doing in study groups as well in much more depth, but I want to get it covered here as well, because this is your introductory module to the entire degree. And it is something that's really important. I just want to take you through a couple of key things that you need to get in your heads as you're doing your degree in media. So if you listen and learn to what I'm going to talk about in this video and the next one, it's going to be so easy, and those who don't watch it are screwed. So obviously you're watching this right now because you wouldn't be listening to me, so you're not going to be screwed. Therefore, you're going to be awesome. You're going to be fine. It's going to be a breeze. It's going to be so easy. So, one important thing that I want to talk about is me, because I'm important, right? I mean, check me out, right? You know, I am so. As far as you guys are concerned, I'm like the most important guy that you could meet right now. You know, I'm God. I am God, and I don't just have a God complex because, you know, I'm like that way. I'm so important, right? I am an academic. Now, I happen to be the academic in charge of your degree as well. But aside from that, I'm academic, and everyone you are taught by in the next 3 years will be an academic. So let's try and understand a little bit about what the hell is an academic. You're going to be taught and supervised by a variety of academics. We're not teachers. We're not college lecturers. I've been, in my career, both those things. You know, I used to be a teacher, and I had to stop being a teacher because it got to the point where it was either going to be me or them. I was either going to kill them or they were going to kill me. Either way, it could have been really bloody and cost millions of lives. So I was a college lecturer for a while. I was a bit better, like, you know, but eventually it was going to be me or them. And I'm sure at some point it's going to be me or them in the university as well. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out, eh? Basically, academics have different roles, different responsibilities, far different levels of sanity, and basically do very different things. And the reason why I'm dwelling on this a little bit in this video is you guys need to understand that you're dealing with different people perhaps to those that you've dealt with in the past. And each academic's very different as well. Some people are very serious, some people are not perhaps as serious, but they take their job extremely seriously and they take academic work extremely seriously. So, you know, listen and learn. What does an academic do? I'm basing this on me, right? Not all academics do this, but I'm pretty standard in this case. What does an academic do? In my case, I do research. Okay? You might ask, what research do you do? Boom! Books, people. Yeah. Whoa. Come back here. Yeah. Can you even see that? Light conditions are not conducive to me doing stuff today. I've got other books as well, but they're in the office in work and I can't get in the office at the moment. So what does an academic do? They do research, and that leads to research-led teaching and research-informed teaching. The work I do as a researcher that produces books and journal articles and book chapters, etc., that goes into my teaching. The research I do informs what you will be learning. So if any of you go on to do the social media cultures module with me in year 2, that module is informed by my research on social media. You know, it's not, I haven't just looked at someone else's module or read some books. I have done work on this, and my insights into social media have shaped how that course is put together. Obviously, it's not all about me. In fact, I don't even think I mentioned myself at all in the module, but it underpins how I think about that module itself. So we do research-led teaching, and I do research-informed teaching. Obviously, when I'm writing books and things like that, I'm not just writing about me. You know, we're going to talk about referencing very shortly in this course, and you know, I've got pages and pages of references in these books. You know, whoa, I know how to reference, aren't I a genius, blah blah blah. But yes, and this is how many references you do for a book. So my research also informs my teaching. I read voluminous amounts of books and papers and so on, and that goes into the teaching that I do. So therefore, I teach, I lecture, like now. I design modules themselves. I designed this module you're doing at the moment, designed the media history module you'll be doing in semester 2, I designed the social media module, and I assess. Oh yeah, I mark your work too. Yeah, and you know, this is the 3rd video, and all of you are thinking, oh my god, this guy is a dick, I hate him. Well, you better change your mind, because I'm assessing your work, and if you come over and get in my face, I ain't gonna. It doesn't work that way, right? All assessments are submitted anonymously, but it's worth keeping in mind. It's worth getting to know the things that I value and the things that I'm looking for and the things I'm telling you to put into stuff, because that's obviously going to be stuff that I'm going to mark well, and it's worth doing that for every academic. Each person will be telling you, I want to see this. Show them that. You know, it's not rocket science, people. Show them the stuff that they want, okay? I also supervise, so that's more for students at postgraduate level, although undergraduate level in year 3 as well. You know, you do dissertation, and I supervise dissertations, but also supervise master's students and 4 PhD students here. I've had PhD students in the past who've completed their PhDs, etc., blah blah blah. What do you care in year 1? I'm also academic mentor, so some of you will have me as an academic mentor. I obviously have people in the 2nd and 3rd year who are my academic mentees. I take the role pretty seriously. You know, when I say we're having an academic mentor meeting, it is not like optional. You better you better come to the academic mentor meeting, and you better, you know, if you can't, your leg better be hanging off or something. You better be like, you know, you better have been harpooned or something like that. I want an excuse. I don't want like, oh, I forgot, or you know, it's early, whatever. You turn up. And academic mentoring for me means supervising you through your degree, assisting you with understanding feedback that you've had on assignments, making your performance go up, not down, helping you out, basically. So these are basic tasks of an academic. In addition to that, I have like some kind of, I've heard people. In a previous life, I clearly have done great wrong, you know, and I have this mountain of administration which would make somebody who was going to climb Everest weep, you know, break down in tears at the sheer amount of administration that I have to do. Climbing Everest, or indeed Elvis, is going to be easy compared to my admin load. What are you going to do? That's another thing that academics do. So, how do you deal with academics? Now, Swansea University is not an enlightened institution in terms of communication practice. We don't use WhatsApp, we don't use Insta, we don't use Snap, we use email. I know. So email, that brand new thing which has only been around for 50 years, right? Yeah, we use the email system. It's simply because those other mediums, there are issues with privacy and, you know, with maintaining professional sort of distance between students and lecturers. So email, although it's ancient, it is the best way of doing it. Now, I recognize I'm speaking to a generation of people for whom email is really unimportant, but in the next 3 years, it's going to become really damn important, okay? One of the first things you need to do as a student is to connect your Swansea University email account to your phone. So whatever mail service you've got on your phone, if you've got an Android phone, you've got either Gmail as a client, or you can download the Microsoft Office software for free from the university. Oh, what a tip. Tip, people. If you want a free copy of Microsoft Office, you type in these words into Google: Swansea University, Microsoft Office. Bang! It'll take you to a page where you can download a free copy of 365, which you will have for the 3 years that you are here. And you don't even have to say thank you. This is what I do for you people, right? Once you're there, you can download Outlook and you can set it up as your mail client, and you can set up your email account on that. So your email account will be your student number at swansea.ac.uk, and this is how we communicate. Okay, if you want to ask me questions, you email me. If you want to talk to me about something, you email me. If you want to say, Leighton, you suck, you're the worst, you email me, especially with your university account, because then I can hunt you down like a dog. If I want to get in touch with you, I'm going to email you. I'm not going to phone you. I am not going to send you a WhatsApp message. I am not going to get in touch on your DMs on Insta. I'm going to email you. If I need to give you feedback, if I need to tell you this is going wrong, or this is really bad, or this is really good, that's how it's going to be done. If you're not reading your emails, you're not in university at that point. You're not in the loop. So you've got to get on top of it. Read your emails and check them a minimum of twice a day. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon. You will get borderline spam from the institution. Here's a special offer on, I don't know, knickknacks in Costco in Fulton House, and you're like, get used to deleting rubbish emails. But ones that come from me especially, don't you dare delete. I will know. I'll feel it in here, yeah? I'll feel the pain. Get onto it. You contact your lecturers through email. If you need anything, you contact your lecturers through your email. This is part of our job, all right? Dealing with email is part of our job. We respond to emails. We don't respond to threats. Well, I respond to threats, but we don't respond to messages on different services. We respond to email, okay? You email us. So university email, all important announcements and personal communications are through this. You've got to check them. I say at least once a day there. Actually, it's twice a day. And you contact your lecturers, and people will respond. I've got my email on my phone. If I'm sitting at home, and I'm like not doing anything, and an email from a student comes through, I'll respond to it. That's my job. I'm paid to do that, so I do it. Okay, there is a professional way to use email. My name is not hey. My name is not nothing. My name is definitely not Evans. So many people every year just email, hello Evans. All right. If my mother had wanted me to be called Evans, right, she would have called me Evans. That would have been a really weird name to call me, because I would have been called Evans, and that would have just been weird on a scale like, which is not relatable. My name is Leighton. If you send me an email, say, Dear Leighton, or Hi Leighton, if you're not into the whole formality thing, or Hey Leighton, or, Leighton, please help me. Okay, great. Use my name. If you want to call me Dr. Evans, fine, that's okay, but I'm genuinely not into it. Please use my name. Be concise and clear on what you need, and please use the subject line. The subject line of your email should tell me what you need. It's just like, help with my essay. Okay, I know what's coming, or what time is the class? Bang! Yes, thank you. Blank email, subject line, I'm just like, oh my God. Please spell check your emails. Everything comes with a spell checker these days. Don't look up when you spell things wrong. Please sign off your emails with your name. It doesn't take 2 seconds to type your own name on an email. So thank you, or yours sincerely, or best wishes. Bang. Please. Okay. In my experience, every module specific question can be answered if you read the module guide. Module guide is on Canvas. You have to read the module guide to unlock the rest of the course on Canvas. If I ever have to say the sentence, read the module guide again, I'm not just going to freak out, right? I'm way beyond that at this point. I'm going to leave. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go to Papua New Guinea and start a cult. An organ harvesting cult. So just take this into consideration, right? If you ask me something and I have to say read the module guide, I'm going to be responsible for blood-curdling horror. Okay, just step back and think of the consequences of your actions. Okay, you've got to get to know the navigation of Canvas. There is 1,000,001 guides on how to use Canvas, right? If you don't want to look at them on Canvas, just go on YouTube, and there is like 1,000,000 videos on how to use Canvas. So please, everything is on Canvas. Read the module guide. I cannot stress this enough. If you don't read the module guide, I can't be responsible for the pain and suffering that's going to follow. Now, essays and assessment. Yes, the fun part of university, being assessed. Excuse me a second. So throughout your degree, obviously a lot of assessments. These can take actually many forms. And you'll see that even in this module, okay, there's 4 assessments in this module, which is really hardcore in a lot of ways, but they're all very different to one another. 2 of them, well, actually the first 3 are extremely short. The referencing exam is, although it's 25 questions, it's only going to take you about 12-13 minutes to do. It's really short. You've got a 250 word piece of writing and a 500 word piece of writing. So you've got half a page and a page, and then you've got an essay at the end. Obviously that's going to take you longer, but it's not, I'm not asking you like to, do something really difficult, go deep sea diving, I'm not asking you to push a rock up a hill for eternity or anything. They're actually quite short. Now, essays take a really important part of the assessment of a degree in any arts and humanities subject, and media is no different to that. Essays will be extremely important. Why do we ask you to do essays? Well, they illustrate understanding. They illustrate your academic engagement and your work with academic sources. Therefore, your essay needs to include many academic sources. Reduce web sources and non-academic references. Nope, don't use them. Don't go near them. Don't touch them. This is what I do, right? If I don't know something about a topic, I'll go to Wikipedia. Yeah, academics use Wikipedia, and I'll read the Wikipedia page, and I use that as my jumping off point to gain the first basic building block of knowledge, and I never use it. Okay, I never use it in my writing. What I do is use that to understand the outline of something, then I get into the reading of it with a basic understanding of where this is going. So you've got to illustrate your understanding. We then use that to assess your understanding. Have you hit the core components of the module? So remember, video 1, I think, I talked about the learning objectives. The essay tells me, have you done the learning objectives? And are you operating at a sufficient standard? And standard is something really, really important here. You could have come to this course through a variety of routes. Majority of you will have come through the A-level route or the equivalent in the country that you live in. Some of you will have come through a BTEC route. Some of you will have come through an access to education route, etc. And there are a number of other routes by which you can enter a degree as well. In terms of standards, a degree, I don't want to say it's more difficult than those things. What it is it's different than those things. I don't think it's fair to say something is more difficult, although by the time you're in the 3rd year especially, you will be operating at a level where you'll be producing work which will be far superior to what you've done before you came here. But it's not necessarily difficulty that's the issue here. It's expectation and standards. The essay you could write for your A-level would not be accepted at degree level. Okay? You need up-to-date, relevant, or canonical references to key theory in your essays. If you don't understand what those things are, look them up. Okay? And there's a big difference between university and what you've had before. We will hold your hands, okay? We will guide you, but you have to meet us halfway. If there are things you don't know, you have to put the work in too, which is why I was saying in the previous videos, you have to read. There's only so much I can do in a lecture, and indeed, there's only so much I will do in a lecture. Just using my lectures for your essays is nowhere near sufficient to get a good mark at degree level. In fact, I'm often of the temptation that if I know all you've done is use PowerPoints or videos or lectures when we go back to lectures for your essay, I'm going to fail you outright anyway because you haven't done any independent study. You're not operating at a sufficient standard to be a university student at that point. Essays are our way of assessing it, and believe me, It's one of the easiest things in the world to tell the difference between somebody who's relied on my lectures and my notes and somebody who's done it reading. It's so obvious, it's untrue. It's so easy to see through. So you have to illustrate that you're operating at a sufficient standard. Degree classifications. Many people know about these when they come into university, but actually, surprisingly, quite a lot of people don't. I say surprisingly, I don't think it's a problem because you've never been very often in university before, so it's not a big deal. Grades in university are extremely important, and this is how we classify the grades. Anything above 70% is a first. Anything between 2-1, anything between 60% and 69% is a 2-1. 50 and 59% are 2-2. 40 and 49% a third, and anything under 40% is a fail. Now you might see on this slide I've got a gap between 2-1 and 2-2. That gap illustrates society. I said, what are you talking about? How can a gap on a PowerPoint slide illustrate society? It's how society classifies degrees. First and 2-1 is fine. Anything below that is not good. So your aim at a minimum is a 2-1 degree. Okay. Now I know most of you will want a first class degree, so it means an average across your degree of over 70%. Now the first year is not included in that calculation, but it does go onto your degree transcript. Second year is 1/3 of your final degree. Third year is 2/3 of your final degree. It's weighted towards the expectation that you'll be operating at a high level by the time you get to the third year. You can't redeem any failed modules in the third year, but you can in years 1 and 2, but you're capped at 40%. I don't joke about this. Really, I don't agree with it. I don't like it. But anything below a 2-1 these days is a big hindrance to you doing a lot of things in life. So my basic aim is to make sure every one of you gets a 2-1 or above in your degree. That's pretty much what I see my job as. You all have to get a good degree. That's what I'm paid for, all right? And that's what I'm going to try and do. You might think as well, 70%, isn't that a bit low? Put it like this. In order to give something 85% or higher, I would expect it to be of quality where I could slide it into a book of mine and it would be published without editing. Okay, so that's that kind of standard. So you are on the continuum in terms of your degree classification with published academic work. Okay, now you might think, well, 85 is therefore impossible. No, weirdly, even I, Heart of Stone itself, gave somebody 85 this year. One of my colleagues, who's actually probably the harshest marker in the department, gave somebody a 90 this year. Now, I read that piece because I was the moderator for it, and it was extraordinary. It's possible. It is very possible to get those high grades. It's very, very possible to get 70 and above if you do the reading, you write clearly, concisely, and intelligently about a topic. You will be fine. You will get 70. Okay, but you'll only get 70 if you put the work in. You can't fluke 70%. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. Unless you've put the effort into reading and understanding the topic, you won't get there. Just one slide on this, mitigation and mitigating circumstances. If you have any circumstances that are affecting your performance, and I'm not talking to you guys at the moment. For me, there are a range of things that could do this, from illness to mental health issues, to personal circumstances, to you hate your bitch of a flatmate. Go to the college office. Now, obviously, you can't go to the college office, so you can email the college office. The email address is coacollegeoffice@swansea.ac.uk, and speak to the team there. They will put you through to the mitigating circumstances team. Very important, if you get mitigating circumstances, you inform your lecturer, even if only by email. And I would only expect it by email at the moment, but just drop them a line saying, I have mitigating circumstances for this. It makes our job easier in order to prioritise and help for you. Really, mitigating circumstances for your work means you can have either assistance with doing your work, or you can have extra time for with regards to deadlines and so on if you need it. It is very important, if you need that stuff, that you get that help. In terms of module feedback, you'll get used to doing these. You'll get emails, and through the Canvas system, you follow up basically on what you think your lectures are like and what you think your courses are like. This is absolutely essential that you do, because this is your opportunity to actually guide what we do. I actually listen to module feedback. I make changes to modules on it, and I don't just make changes for the people who come next year. I'll make changes for the module that you have after Christmas. I'll make changes for the module you have in the second year based on the feedback I get on this module. Unless it's like, oh, this is awesome, and it's like, well, I'll keep doing the awesome things then, but please tell me what's awesome so I can do more of that, because obviously you think that's good. Aim is to be constructive, not destructive. A lot of people, because the module feedback process is anonymized, right? I don't admit, I don't get any of this myself, and there's quite a few people who don't get any of this myself, but a lot of people get an absolute slaughtering on the module feedback system. What's the point? I mean, genuinely, what's the point? Do you think that'll help? Do you think that's useful? Having a go at someone is not the point of module feedback. Here's what the point is. How many years have you been in the education system? Yeah, this will be, for most of you, be a 14th year in the education system. 14 years of doing something, you should know something about it by then. You've got some insights. You know what works and what doesn't. You know what's working for you and what doesn't work for you, and you can help us. You can tell us these things. And genuinely, there are, in every year, there's something that comes up and said, do you know what, that's a really good idea, or do you know what, yeah, I like that. Even if it's something that I've maybe done in the past or something like that, yeah, actually, could be a really good idea to do that. So I take it seriously. We all have to take it seriously. We have a framework in the university, which means that people use these module feedback that we get from you guys to go into our module reviews, which then go to me so I can write our annual performance review as a department. That annual performance review goes forward to the college level for their annual performance review as an entire college. So it all feeds up. So at the, this is going to sound awful, right? At the bottom level, because you're not at the bottom level, actually, you're the foundation. If we don't get good module feedback, and what I mean by good is not like scores or anything, I mean good quality module feedback from students, everything afterwards kind of sucks. So even if it's just really bland stuff like, I really enjoyed the course, yeah, I thought he said really funny things, yeah, superb. That's great, that's absolutely superb, and if it's good scores and so on, I'm not gonna lie, that is a good esteem boost for people. What I'm saying though is not all modules are good, honestly. Not all modules suit you, and I'm not saying that lecturers are bad or anything like that, but sometimes a module really doesn't gel with the student, and it's really handy to know why. Offer some suggestions for improvement. Our department is all about bringing you guys in and getting your views on stuff and actually acting on those things. We try and do it. We've got posters up all over the 4th floor of like the things that we have done based on feedback. Please keep it going. So you're going to have 2 sets of feedback in this module, and for every module you do this semester. You're going to have a mid-module feedback, which is actually not that long away. It's only like a couple of weeks away, into the semester. It's like week 4 maybe. And then you have a final one right at the end, sort of week 10 of the year. So it's before we finish for Christmas. And it is just really important that everyone sets aside literally 5 minutes to fill it in. And 5 minutes is there, like if you write loads, it's like tick this box, tick this box, tick this box, score this, score this, score this. Have you got any comments? Bang. It takes like a couple of minutes for each module. It's not a long drawn out thing. Finally, what I want to talk about, this is, the NSS is a while away for you guys, but SES really isn't that far away. It's only in sort of February it'll be opening. These are the ultimate student feedback weapons, really, but they're actually the best mechanism for registering what you've enjoyed about your course. You're asked about your satisfaction with the course, by the quality of the teaching, intellectual stimulation, learning opportunities, blah, blah, blah. You guys can read, so, read all the list. Department of Media and Communication at Swansea University is ranked 6th in the UK on the basis of the National Student Survey. There are 97 departments for media in the UK, so we are in the top 10% in the UK on the basis of our National Student Survey scores. That means we do well, okay, fair enough, that's great, and we do well on this particular thing: satisfaction with course, quality of teaching, learning opportunities, assessment and feedback. These are the things we really do well. So we've got a good record here. What I'd say about the NSS and the SES, by the way, Swansea, I don't even know what, experience survey, yes, that would have been really bad if I didn't know what that E stood for, right? We do really good on those things, and that's fantastic, and we're, great, fantastic, brilliant. Those are just snapshots. Those happen in like February, March time. I want to know about all those things all the way through the year. I want to know, what your satisfaction with the course is, what the quality of teaching is, intellectual stimulation, learning opportunities, opportunities to apply. I want to know how it's going. This is why I'm going back and say, right, email's really important. At this moment in time, you can't come and knock on my door and come in and have a chat, unfortunately. I encourage you all to do that, but COVID, we can't do it right now. We will be able to do it in the future. If you want to talk to me about any of these things, even if it's to do with me, I'm a big boy, I've got thick skin, I'm good, just drop me a line, please. Don't have issues without talking to me about them. If you've got an issue with the lecturer, if you've got an issue with me, if you've got an issue with accommodation, if you've got an issue with the course, I'm here to talk to you about it, okay? Anytime, just drop me a line. NSS and SES are really important, but I want to see all of this happen all the way through your degree. It's really important to me that you feed back to me, and you let me know how things are going, and if things need improving, and if you're not getting something, I'm the person to talk to. Okay, so that's just a brief overview of this stuff. Next video, we'll look at some different stuff. Cheers.